Good morning. I'm gonna share my devotion today as well because someone asked why I haven't shared, and I will not always share because it's a personal devotion. It's a connection that I am intentionally and personally building between me and God. So I would encourage you to have such kind of a time on your own, but I'm sharing. Today is too. So we are reading from Genesis. We are reading from Genesis 28. I think we'll start from verse 16 up to 22. Yeah, 16 through 22. And I will just say quickly that first of all, do you live in fear sometimes because of what will happen? And do you put contingency plans of, in case this I'm gonna do A, B, C, D? I'm sad this morning, but I'm trying to be strong. So we live in fear of very many things, but the most that we dread is dying. Even when we've been prepared so much by the Bible about death, it's because of the sin that our forefather ate on. We have to go through it. It's the path of life. It's the way of life. It's the terminus. It's the terminal stage. We have to alight our lives. I mean, if at all God is not coming back when we are still alive in this generation, trust me, death is there, but I fear. So my friend lost their cousin, and I felt bad. I'll not say everything that I feel because I felt terrible. I felt like for that time I wasn't being a good friend because how could I not know? And then I had been catching up with my sibling and nephew, and again it comes to a point where I'm not blaming myself. That's called healthy empathy. There's a point in my life where empathy used to take a toll on me. Now it does, but not so much. That time it used to take a toll on me such that your feelings become my feelings and what you feel becomes what I feel, and sometimes it makes my life not move on, and I'm even at a place where I'm not able to help you because of how I feel, and that's not healthy. It's not. So today I'll share this. Jacob had been living in fear, and it's like he'd been having one eye on his forehead and another right back on his head behind, so that he sees if Esau will be following him for all the things he had done him wrong. So I'm like, well, he did really live in fear for quite a long time, and fear of dying in the hands of his brother, his younger brother. is it his elder brother or younger brother? So yeah, and this became something that put concern in me. I was like, you could live in fear for quite an extended period of time because of the things you did, or maybe of the things you didn't do. And you see, it says, when Jacob woke from his sleep, that's verse 16, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Sometimes we are like him, we are not aware, we forget. It's something we should be aware of, like, God is here, he is with me. Even though I have doubts that this and this might happen, my greater percentage should not be doubt or fear. It should be my trust in God and his protection over me. So I don't know why he kept doubting. I just don't understand at all. I don't understand. And sometimes I don't understand myself as well, because if God has said he will protect us, he will be with us, he will be for us and not against us, and we believe that the wrongs we have done, if we ask him in earnestness, in the most genuine way, that he forgives us, he does. And if he does, why are we still doubting that he will protect us from our enemies, even if they are our siblings, even if they are our neighbors, even if they are our friends? What we did to them and making peace with them will be of good use. Let me first say that, because I think Jacob lived in that kind of fear because he had not yet sought peace with his brother, and it made him live in fear because Esau was known for vengeance. That's what he knew his brother for. Like, he is going to revenge, he is going to do him bad, he's going to destroy his life and that of his family, and he really feared. And it came to a point that even early the next morning, that is verse 19, in fact in verse 17 he said he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he placed under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He called that place Bethel, though the city used to be called Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey that I am taking, and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God. So all this time, God had not actually been Jacob's God, because he had not trusted him fully. He also trusted in war and waging war to defend himself, instead of letting God to defend him in that war. And this stone that I have set as a pillar will be God's house. Where has been God's house all this time? Why didn't he realize And I love the way God did. Like, he's always the one who's seeking us. He sorts us daily. Like, no, you are forgetting. You are forgetting that I am the one who is looking for you. I am here. Look, this is the place that I dwell. And this stone that I have set as a pillar will be God's house. And all of you that give, and all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. This is Jacob. All this time, I don't know if he had not, or he had been giving God the tenth. And if he had, then it was not from a place of trusting God. It was from a place of maybe obligation or something. I don't know. But you see, at this point where he now recognizes all that he has to do as a thanksgiving to God is because of what God has done. Had he not been seeing what God had been doing before? Is that how our life is? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to think my place in life and God's place in my life. I mean, it shouldn't be my purpose in this life. It should be God's purpose in this life. God's purpose through me as I live out. So I think at this point, before Jacob actually came to the point of contention, he got contended that this is actually God. He had been contending with God all his life. From when he ran away from home up to this point, he had been contending with God. I think he had been questioning, why me? Why is my brother coming against me? Blah blah blah. But we know it's the repercussion of sins. It's the repercussion of sins, whether it's us who've done them or not us, and we get to experience the bad things because of sin. I think it's good to contend with God, but the end goal is that we should believe that God is not letting us pass through bad things, and he is there for us to actually protect us against those bad things. It's just that the devil is competing with God so that he shows us, the humans, that God is not actually the winner in our lives. It is him, the devil. But on the contrary, I want us all to go through this day believing that God is actually on our side, and the devil is trying to mar God's reputation, and by showing us how bad things can go, how bad things will be. But overall, let us take a deep breath and settle down, and even if we have our doubts, we come back to God and know that it is him who is doing the amazing things in our lives, and we should not let the devil take over. Yeah. So I think I did a more extended devotion for us all the questions that I'm supposed to ask myself today, I have asked all of us, and you can ask more yourself. You can ask yourself more, where is God in your life? Where have you placed him? Where have you allowed him to stand? Is he on the doubt side? Are you trusting Satan's acts and Satan's are you accepting that actually the devil is a winner? Or are you believing and trusting and hoping that this war, the victory is ours as long as God is on our side, however bad the situation? Because situations are bad, the world world is bad, everything happening is bad. We human beings, sometimes we have decided to be bad people. But I'm telling you, and I'm telling myself that I can be a good person because God lives in me. I have allowed myself to be God's dwelling place. I want people to see God through me. And even if they're not able to read the Bible, then I am the Bible that they see because of how I live, what I do. And yeah, that's it for today. I'm just going to end this here and do my morning routine. And actually, my water has become cold. No, it's warm. So I'll just sit this down. But I tell you all to have a great day and a peaceful day. For those who are having a bad day, may God be with you. May He come through for you. And human beings, we don't know the best way on how to do things. We might think we are doing the best for you, we are talking good things to you or about you, and then we find ourselves doing the complete opposite. So overall, put God in the center of everything we do, everything we think, everything we think about. So yeah, here's my 𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓭. Go.